Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here live tonight. This is the first time that I'm hosting a call like this. This is the Summer of Inspiration, and we started a call series for our team not long ago and kicked it off with some guest speakers, and then we're going to do another call and decided to open it up to everyone because everyone wants and needs inspiration, motivation, guidance, and some of the things that happen is that we don't set goals because, well, if we set a goal and we don't hit it, then we fail, and we don't want to fail, so we don't set any goals. So we just kind of stay where we are, and we're like, hey, we're happy with that. We're just plugging along. So I want to go over a couple of rules really quickly. As soon as this call is over, I'm going to post in the event page a link to a closed Facebook group. It's not public, so everybody can see everything. It'll be closed, so that way you can find it. But we'll no longer be posting in the event page. We're going to be posting in the closed Facebook group. Again, that's open to whatever friend you want to invite also. And there's rules for the group in the group. You know, it's not a sales page. It's not for spamming posts or anything like that. It's strictly for vision and goals and using those tools, and you can share those tools in the page. So grab a pen and paper for some notes, and you can watch this as many times as you need. I've been spending a lot of time listening to leaders and how they set goals and using some tools. So if you see my eyes kind of wander off, I'm going to be reading some of the notes that I've written for that. I'm going to take a deep breath and get into this. I'm so excited about this. I've been practicing like for a week of what I'm going to say. So I'm sure all the people driving around me like, what is that? Who's that girl talking to? But know that you're here for a reason, that you're listening live for a reason, that you're listening to the recording for a reason, that you are going to be in the Summer of Inspiration group for a reason. And it doesn't matter what that reason is yet. Maybe you're going to find out in a little bit, but there's something that you want, that you need, that you're not being fulfilled, whether it's in your relationships, in your job, in your personal life, in your neighborhood, at home, whatever it is, something is not being fulfilled and you need to be inspired. And inspired is in spirit. So you're from within. It's coming from within, not motivation where it's you go to a seminar and they go, yeah, you can do it. And you walk out like, yes, I can do it. And then a week later, you're like, oh, what happened? I need motivation again. You're going to be inspired from within. And that's what we want to do here in this group. Keep in mind, these goals that we're going to set will be what you want to accomplish by Labor Day for the purposes of the group. But you can set goals beyond. So if there's something you're going for December or January, you can obviously set those, but for the purposes of the group, we're going to go through the summer up till Labor Day. So the expectations will be that I'm going to show you the steps on how to create a clear vision, not something vague. I'm going to give you the tools to do it, multiple different types of tools, because not everyone understands in the same way and they don't learn in the same way. Some people are very visual, or they want videos, or they want step-by-step on a piece of paper, or the engineering brain versus the artist brain. So there's going to be several different ways to learn on how to create your vision. You're going to have a support group. So you're going to have the Facebook group, and there's no really open and close date. It'll stay open forever, until it goes away. So if you want to, go back to it over time and see things, that's perfectly fine. Occasionally, there will be some challenges and assignments posted in the group, a video, a challenge. Don't get overwhelmed with it. Do whatever you want. It's up to you. And you're going to be pushed out of your comfort zone a little bit. Just things like this of hosting a call, speaking in front of people, holding a microphone, teaching a live class, whatever those things are that are going to push you out of your comfort zone. If that's something you want to do this summer, then we're going to work on that too. All right, so number one, before we even get into how to set a vision, we're going to talk about personal development. Personal development is huge, huge, huge. And I have a little visual because some people are visual learners. So why do we need to listen to personal development or read it? You know, I thought that was for people who like to meditate. I was not into that. And so for years, I was kind of just sailing around. I didn't know how to set my sail to something better. It was the economy's fault. It was the president's fault. It was my boss's fault. It was my spouse's fault. It was always something else on why I wasn't being successful. And it wasn't until really I was at home on maternity leave watching Oprah, and she had all these self-help gurus on. And it was around the time when I think when The Secret was popular, and she had Marianne Williamson, A Return to Love. She wrote that and some other books. And I just thought, okay, Louise Hay, she was one of my first that I started to read and listen to. And I thought affirmations were silly. I thought it was ridiculous. You know, Tony Robbins, I thought was just like this goofball, like he was on infomercials at night. Why would I want to listen to him? And I started to listen to Louise Hay, and I believe the first book was called You Can Heal Your Life, because I felt like I needed to heal my life. I wrote affirmations. I had them in the bathroom. I had them at work. I would repeat them to myself over and over again, and started to change my mindset. Instead of getting depressed on Sunday nights that I had to go to work, I started to listen to and read personal development. And I listened to personal development on my way to that job that I didn't like. And it would put me in a better mood by the time I got there. Then I started to change myself from within. So let's just pretend it's a regular day. You're going to get up, you're going to turn on the news, you're going to listen to the news at the house, you're going to read the newspaper before you leave, you're going to hear the news in the car, you're going to get to wherever you are and there's a TV on, you're going to see gossip magazines, you're going to see reality shows that you're watching someone else's life that has nothing to do with you. You know, whatever the latest thing is that everyone's sharing on social media, about, cops beating people up, or someone, hurt a dog and taped his mouth shut. I mean, just all of these negative images coming at you over and over again. That is dirty water. That's what that is right there. That's what you're putting in your body every day. Dirty water. Now, if you change that and say, I'm not going to turn on my phone first thing, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to read and listen to my personal development, I'm going to journal, I'm going to write out my goals for the day, I'm going to say, what do I want to get from this day? How do I want to be today? Do I want to be a shining light for other people, or do I want to bitch and moan about what things aren't working for me? You're not going to turn on the news in the car, you're going to listen to personal development in the car. You're going to walk into work smiling, or wherever you're going. Maybe you're a stay-at-home parent, or you work from home, or whatever the case is, that whenever you get there, you're going to be the shining light because you've already filled your mind with great stuff. And you're going to be reading books that help you grow and learn. And you're going to be focused on gratitude. And then there's your clean water. You're going to be putting clean water in your body. I mean, which one do you want to have? All this junk, I don't even know what's in this one. This was in the sink. It had like forks in it. Or the clean, which I will drink. So this is why personal development is important. And you may say, well, I don't have time, I don't have money. Do you have time to feel like crap? No, you do not. You do not have time to feel like crap. You have time for personal development. I personally listen to more books than I read now. That has shifted for me. I used to love to read before bed. Now I listen to books while I clean. I listen to books while I take the dog for a walk, while I'm waiting in the waiting room at the dentist, while I'm at the grocery store. I listen to personal development all the time. And my son gets a lot out of it too in the car. He gets personal development at 9 years old, so we're already setting the stage for something positive. So in the Facebook group, I have already created a document in the file section with a huge list, well, just my top like 15 or 20, a list of personal development that I recommend. I personally use Audible. I download that app, and that's where I download all my books and listen. You can get a lot of free stuff out there, a lot of ebooks that you can just download on PDF and read. Maybe Kindle's your thing, however you like to get your personal development in, but get rid of the gossip magazine, get rid of the, 50 Shades of Grey novel. It does nothing for your life. Maybe like once every 3 years, I'll read, I'll read a fiction book, and then I'm like, oh, why did I do that? And I go back to personal development because it helps me grow and learn. So I've done that enough. I think I've made the point. This morning, podcast. That's another one. Podcasts. If you go into iTunes, you can look up podcasts. Brendan Burchard, I was listening to his podcast this morning. And funny enough, it was about goals and vision. And he said, no matter how big it may seem, maybe you want to lose 100 pounds or you want to save $10,000, or it seems like it's this huge thing. You're going to get your PhD, something that's giant. Even though it's a small beginning, don't make it small thinking. Don't think of yourself small. You might come from small beginnings and to get to that big goal, but everyone starts off at zero. Tiger Woods learning how to play golf, he just started sooner than everyone else. That's why he's better. He's done it more often. So do whatever you can to get that clean water in your body every day. So now we're going to talk about the vision aspect on how to create the vision. The thing that works for me is reverse engineering. So I'm going to go through some of the steps here. And let me go over here. Now, you need to think big and you need to dream big, and don't let things hinder that thinking for you. Maybe you need to put on the best, most pardon me, inspirational music you can think of and go off. Oh, look, we have a tip. Chalene Johnson has a great one called Chalene Show. Yes. I'm going to sneeze, I think, and have to cover the microphone. Ooh. All right, now I'm going to go over here and talk to you about this. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry about that. Okay. All right, here we go. So how do we create a vision? You don't have to be clear and it doesn't have to be well defined overnight, but just make sure that you're at a space where you're going to create the vision. Don't have the TV on in the background with, CNN or Fox News or whatever news channel in the background and your kids are running around, because that's not you in a place of writing a vision for your life. So you want to just dream big. That's what you want to do. And you need to ask yourself these questions. What do you want? It sounds kind of simple to ask, but just ask yourself these things. And I'll give you these tips also in the page, so you don't have to write every single one of them down. But give yourself permission to dream. What really matters in your life, not what should matter. What would you like to have more of in your life? And be creative. Think about what you want. Don't think about what you don't want. Think about what you actually want. What brings more joy and happiness into your life? What would you most like to accomplish? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? Those are the things to think about. What do you want there? What does your best life look like? Just picture that in your head and kind of think, you need to think in the present. You can't go into the past and say, well, you can't change the past. If this happened, I'd be happier, or if this person were still alive, or if I had gotten this degree instead of that degree. Don't think about the past and saying my perfect life would be XYZ, or that I would have had, 4 kids instead of 5, or whatever, you can't go back and change the past. But think about what your best life would look like now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What does that best life look like? Like, for example, you want to be, you love to write and write screenplays, and you see your life as you're accepting an Oscar and you're a famous, author of a movie and you get to travel and use your craft and do all this stuff. Maybe you're not famous. Maybe you're just enjoying every moment that you're doing something that you absolutely enjoy. And that's your ultimate life. Or that you're a motivational speaker, or that you're a nurse, or that you work at a charity and you run a charity. What is the ultimate life look like for you? What would you be doing? How are you dressed? What's your state of mind? I mean, like, get in these little details in your head. I know that I always had the vision of working on or with a team. I always had it there. I never envisioned my life as this, corporate person at the very top, not around people. I, I love being around people, and I've always been involved with philanthropy. And I didn't know how to turn my corporate VP job into philanthropy other than doing it on the weekends. So that is why I started to set up a life for myself where I could do that all the time. So really put that into your vision. What does your body look like? Those things can go into your vision too. I mean, why not? Why not put it in there? And then plan backwards. So it sounds counterintuitive, but like if you say, I'm going to be a best-selling author, well, what steps need to happen? What needs to happen to do that along the way? What are the important action items to take? What habits and behaviors do you need to cultivate in order to be a person who has published a book? What are the steps and milestones that have to happen along the way? If you're like, for instance, there's this competition where you can, wear a bikini on stage and you're going to compete, and you need to look completely ripped and be pretty much ripped on stage, and your abs and everything. So that's your ultimate goal. Well, what needs to happen for you to achieve that? You need to dial in your nutrition. You probably need to maybe pay a trainer. You need to do some programs. You need to do some research and find out, what's the best eating plan? What are the best supplements? All these things have to go into achieving that vision, right? So each one that you have that you really feel passionate about, maybe you're going to pick 3 things that you want to do this summer or by the end of the year, or you have a 5-year vision for that. But you're going to pick some things and be very clear on what you want to do. Some ways to create the vision. If you're a visual person, I'm going to give you some things on the board. The ways to do an online dream board, or you could pull magazines out, print pictures off of Google, and glue them on a poster board. I used to have this big vision board over here next to me, and it had a lot of stuff on it. It could be words, it could be pictures, it could be, families having fun, or, the Bahamas, Atlantis, or whatever it is that is a part of your vision that you're going to have. You're going to have a picture of the book that you're going to write, and you're going to put it out there. Whatever it is, you're going to put that on your vision board. A way I really enjoy doing the vision is writing it as if it's already happened. So it's Labor Day today. When you're writing your vision, it's Labor Day. What happened? What happened in June? What happened in July? What happened in August? So you're basically saying it's already happened. It's already happened. And, if it's something you want in your career, something you want in your personal life, something with your physical things that you're working on, financial things, write it in the present tense. It's already happened. This happened in July, and it felt awesome, and experience the feelings of it happening. And write it down. And I will tell you, and I've researched this many times, the brain doesn't know the difference between it actually happening and happening from you thinking it. That when you see runners practicing races, their muscles twitch, their brain is running the race in their head, and they've already done it, and sometimes they win and sometimes they don't, but they have already run that race in their brain that they're going to win. And that's what you're doing with your vision when you're saying it's happened. And then it's just a matter of your brain catching up with with things that are actually happening. So I would say pick 3 to 5 things that you want to achieve this summer so it's not so overwhelming to you, and write them in the board. But I'm also going to put the tools in there. So first things first, I'm putting the link in there so you can get into the group. And I'm going to put a copy of the video in there so you can watch this again. And I'm going to point you to the tools to where you can create your online vision board, or you're going to write it out. If you want to share your top 3 to 5 things on the board, that would be great, because it might spark someone else to say, you know what, I want that too. That sounds awesome. Because, we don't always know what we want. I've been working on personal development for years, so it's easier for me to connect with my desires that way. I'm also going to give you some planning tools, and these are critical to me. I hear people all the time say, I don't have the money, or I don't have the time. Those are the top 2 reasons why people don't really take action. And then another one I put in there is fear. Fear blocks people. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of looking stupid, whatever the case is, of why they're not going to do it. I'm not going to sign up for that class because XYZ. I was certified to teach group fitness classes for 2 years and didn't do it out of fear. And I finally did it, and I had a blast. I ripped the fear band-aid off. So the tools for daily planning, I'm going to put in there also, and you're going to track every day. Print those sheets out. If you want to print off 7 and do a week at a time, I recommend that. But know what your 3 needle moving activities are each day. What are the 3 things you need to do to get you closer to those goals that you want to hit by Labor Day? If you're trying to lose 10 pounds by Labor Day, or whatever the thing is, then you need to have meal planning as one of your needle moving activities. If you're trying to save $1,000 by Labor Day, then you need to have something financial there in your needle moving activity. But I'm going to put that tool in there as well for you to look at. Some things that you should do, and let me flip back over here to my notes really quick. We have a few more minutes. So we all know that you're going to commit to personal development daily. You're going to download the free planning tools when I post them in the group. You're going to be dreaming big and writing your vision and putting out your vision board there. And you're going to look at your vision every day. Now, don't wait to work on your vision. Like maybe right after you get off this call, you might not be into it. You got to put your kids to bed or whatever, and you're fresh in the morning. So you'd rather write it in the morning. Fine. But give yourself a day or two to work on it and get it started. But make sure you get it started and don't wait. And all the personal development that I give you, those things, download them, go to the bookstore, go to the library, whatever you need to do, get one of those things in your hands today, tonight, tomorrow, and start on it ASAP. And there's free stuff out on YouTube. I mean, there are things you can do to start feeding yourself, but definitely turn the negativity off. Turn off the negative stuff and be aware of how much you're looking at your phone. How much am I looking at Words with Friends? How much, which I don't play, some other people in my house do. How much am I looking at Facebook newsfeed, or, checking my email, or how long do I leave my phone on? Be aware of your presence. But every day also on your daily planning checklist is going to be self-care. Meditation, taking a bath, massage, just quiet time, self-care every day. And people say, well, I don't have time for self-care. Yes, you do. It's like putting the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you help the other people on the plane. You have to take care of yourself first, or you have nothing to give other people. So that's it. I was looking at all my notes here. Woohoo! So we're going to look at our vision every day. You're going to write your vision. You're going to plan every day your needle moving activities. And we're going to have another call in July, and we will have another call in August. And this is just part of the call series. And I'll be posting some videos in the group to, get back and forth with each other and make sure that we're on track and that you're pushing through your goals. And we have a minute here. Let me check this chat here. Oh, you blessed me. That's why you sneezed. Oh, thank you. Yes, fear, false evidence appearing real. Absolutely right. If you want to unmute yourself to ask a question, and if not, we can ask it in the group if you want. But if you have any questions about the assignments or what was covered tonight, make sure I'm drinking my clean water, right? No dirty water. Now, I'll tell you, one other tip before I end the call is about finances. If you have financial goals, I highly recommend using mint.com, mint.com. It's helped me with so many things, even with my taxes at the end of the year. It's a free service, and you connect it to your bank accounts, to your credit cards, and you can manually input a lot of these things also, but it's just easier if it connects with your online institutions. But it will tell you and it will categorize where you're spending and where you're earning. So you'd be surprised when you get to the end of the month and it says you spent $1,000 on groceries. You spent $500 on entertainment. You spent this here. And you can set budgets for yourself and say, I only am going to allow myself $10 a month on coffee. I'm going to set a budget for $200 a month on this. And it'll email you, and you can download the app also, and it'll tell you, hey, you're about to reach your threshold for the month. So if you're going for some type of financial thing, it's a great way to see where you're spending your money. So I look forward to helping everyone and seeing you in the group over the summer. And we can add people as we go, but I really appreciate you being a part of this tonight. And I'm super excited that you're here. And I can't wait to share my vision and my excitement with all of you in the group as well. So I'm going to go ahead and post the group link on the event page so we can see you in there tonight. But thanks for being here and have a good night.